No DQ Galaxy. We are live with a recap of Friday Night Smackdown for Friday, December 16th, 2022. Shout out to everybody watching this, whether it's live or on demand. I very much appreciate your continued viewership and support. Sorry I was a few minutes late, but it was a busy night of WWE action. We have some interesting developments to discuss tonight. Shout out to the early birds that showed up before me, way before me. Mike B, Ken terminates DQ, Caleb Jacobs, Joey Perez, Don Bowen, Darren G, Darren A, Jacob Alfred, Kayfabe Games. Thank you all so much. Now, let's get into it. We had the Bloodline arrive. Sami Zayn was all dressed up. His hair was in a bun. He was taking this show very seriously because he felt that he would finally be initiated as a full-blown Uce instead of the honorary Uce. We had our first match of the evening, which was for the women's tag team titles. Liv Morgan and Tegan Nox challenging Damage Control for the tag team titles. You had Dakota Kai and Tegan Nox, old enemies from NXT. They went at it. Dakota Kai tried to get a kendo stick from under the ring. Liv Morgan got the kendo stick, though, and she wanted to use it, but Tegan Nox calmed her down. Things started to break down. Tegan Nox hit a crossbody off the top onto both Damage Control members on the outside. After the commercial break, the champions took control. Liv Morgan eventually got a hot tag, but then Damage Control regained the upper hand. They power-bombed Liv Morgan. Tegan Nox made the save, and then Tegan Nox hit the shiniest wizard. However, that was broken up, the pin attempt. Liv Morgan hit Dakota Kai with a sunset flip powerbomb to the outside of the ring. And then on the outside, Bayley grabbed at Tegan Nox. Tegan threw Bayley over the barricade, and a mystery person attacked Tegan Nox. Referee did not see any of this happen. Io Sky took advantage, hit the moonsault to pick up the 1-2-3 victory. Damage Control, still your tag team champions. Now, who was this mystery person? WWE could have milked this for weeks. We could have all speculated on it. I even tweeted, who is this person? Who do you think this person is? And 10 minutes later, it was revealed. It was Xia Li. Adam Pearce confronted her backstage, pulled off the mask, and it was Xia Li. Wow. What was the point of even having Xia Li in a mask? Just have her interfere when the referee isn't looking. Why even bother doing the mystery person angle if you're just going to reveal it 10 minutes later? What? This was dumb. Like, I do not understand this. I legitimately am confused why they gave this away like 10, 15 minutes later. What the hell? Really dumb. Waste of time. Anyways, we had some video packages for Gunther versus Ricochet. Ricochet was never going to beat Gunther, but they were trying. They were trying as hard as they could to make you think maybe, just maybe, Ricochet can do it. The little engine that could. Backstage, Sami Zayn and Usos were chatting it up. Jimmy Uso was wondering if Roman Reigns was setting up Sami Zayn for disappointment, but Jay assured him that it would be a good night. We had footage shown with a QR code. To be honest, I'm kind of over the QR code thing. Now that Bray Wyatt's back, I think, okay, We did it for a while. It was nice. It's over with. I mean, do people really get that invested now? It worked for when people were thinking Bray Wyatt was coming back, but now that he's back, do people really do the QR codes? Is that still a thing now? Anyways, I'm over the QR code thing. I definitely did not click on it. So LA Knight was abducted last week and he was tied up and a mask was put on him. Then LA Knight this week stormed to the ring. He is very upset. He thinks Uncle Howdy, Bray Wyatt, they're the same person. And he wanted Bray Wyatt to come to the ring, put on whatever mask he wanted to wear. Bray Wyatt did show up. And he said he missed Chicago. He's sick of LA Knight, but LA Knight is barking up the wrong tree. Uncle Howdy and Bray Wyatt are not the same person. He said that LA Knight had one more chance to deliver a message, whatever message he had. LA Knight's message was to attack Bray Wyatt. And then Uncle Howdy appeared on the big screen and asked LA Knight if he wanted to see something really scary. And then Uncle Howdy arrived. LA Knight was terrified by LA Knight, or LA Knight was terrified by Uncle Howdy. He might terrify himself sometimes, but LA Knight was terrified by Uncle Howdy, and LA Knight left the ring. Now, Uncle Howdy looked somewhat tiny. Not sure if it's Bo Dallas, but he did not look very intimidating. To me, he looks more like the Burger King mascot. Like, is that really intimidating? You had Bray Wyatt laughing. They're not the same person, but Uncle Howdy just doesn't look that intimidating to me. LA Knight did a great job with this. I really liked his delivery. He even mocked the voice of Bray Wyatt, which was well done, but Uncle Howdy doesn't really scare me. And I think they're overproducing these segments. I kind of agree with Gary Joe. Like, I feel that it's starting to get a little stale, and I feel like they're moving too much in the direction of all the supernatural stuff with the effects. Now, people like it. People like all that stuff about Bray Wyatt, but it's starting to lose a little bit of steam with me personally. But we'll see where it goes, and maybe Uncle Howdy will end up being more intimidating than I'm thinking at this point. So we had the Intercontinental title match, Gunther versus Ricochet. Imperium was sent to the back, and Ricochet's World Cup was out there. They did the big introductions. I enjoyed the match. I thought it was really good, but again, not for 1 minute did I ever think that Ricochet was winning this match. Kind of like Dynamite, where you knew Ricky Starks wasn't winning. They still had a really good match, but like, Ricochet ain't winning the title, man. He just ain't. Ricochet used his agility as you would expect, but then Gunther did start to dominate, and Gunther applied some submission holds to Ricochet. Ricochet started to make a comeback, and he went for a suplex to Ricochet, or why do I keep saying that? Ricochet went for a suplex on Ricochet? No, he went for a suplex on Gunther, but was unsuccessful. And Ricochet escaped the powerbomb, hit a springboard moonsault to the outside, continued his momentum, and he finally hit that suplex, which the crowd popped for. And then Ricochet hit the shooting star press. However, Gunther kicked out. Ricochet kept on the attack, did not get frustrated, which I do like, because it's always a stupid baby face when they get frustrated when they cannot beat their opponent. So he kept on the offense, but then Gunther caught him with a chop, hit the power bomb. Ricochet kicked out. Now, this would have been a bigger deal, in my opinion, if nobody had already kicked out of the power bomb. Remember, Gunther already started using this new finishing move, the last symphony, and that was already established that the powerbomb is no longer his finisher. Crowd still bought it like a finisher, though, which maybe that just means that they thought Ricochet would lose to that old powerbomb move. That's how little they thought about Ricochet. Ricochet then got hit with the last symphony, and that was it. Gunther retained the championship, and then after the match, Imperium came down. They were going to continue their assault on Ricochet, but then Braun Strowman made the save. And like I said before, Braun Strowman, Gunther, they've been building that up. So this Ricochet match, like we all knew how it was going to play out. Braun Strowman chased them off. Then we had Jimmy Uso talking to Roman Reigns, wanting to know about the plans for Sami Zayn. Roman Reigns then had Paul Heyman call Adam Pearce. Adam Pearce came into the ring, and then, or not the ring, the backstage area. Aaron riffed Botchamania tonight. Botch. Heyman brought up this idea. Roman Reigns and Sami Zayn against Kevin Owens and a mystery partner. Adam Pearce suggested the Royal Rumble for this. However, Paul Heyman had a better idea. Do it on Fox in 2 weeks, December 30th. Roman Reigns was happy with this. He thought doing it in Chicago was not a good idea. Sounded a whole lot better happening in Tampa than Chicago. That was a good line, by the way, because the crowd did boo not getting the match in Chicago. So yeah, tag team match, and we'll get to that more later. I did not like this because it essentially meant that there was going to be no betrayal of Sami Zayn. Remember, we were all speculating that Sami Zayn was going to be kicked out of the bloodline on this show. So when you announce a tag match for 2 weeks with Sami Zayn and Roman Reigns, that takes out the intrigue for the main event segment, because now we know there's going to be no betrayal. And to me, that's where all the drama and suspense was. Would Roman Reigns actually appoint Sami Zayn as the full-time moose, or would he kick him out of the group? Now we know he's not kicking him out of the group. So yeah, was not a very big fan of this segment. We had a tribute to the troops video. They got that going on Saturday. Then we had a triple threat tag team match. We had Hit Row versus Legado del Fantasma versus Viking Raiders. Pretty standard tag team match here. Winners get to face the Usos and lose to them next week. And I haven't seen the spoilers yet. I'm just presuming. Legado del Fantasma clotheslined over the top rope by Top Dollar, but then Legado came back in and hit some dives to everybody on the outside. Legado kept up the momentum after the commercial break, and then things started to break down again. Top Dollar went for a dive over the top and botched it pretty badly. He looked like he got hurt. And while this was all going on, Zelina Vega got involved. B-Fab took her down. Sarah Logan took down B-Fab. And then once the women were out of the ring, Top Dollar and Ashanti Adonis finished off Legado del Fantasma, hitting the heavy hitter and picking up the victory to lose to the Usos on next week's SmackDown. SmackDown is being taped as I'm doing this live stream. And there are already some spoilers up on NoDQ.com. And by the time many of you watch this, the full spoilers will be up. So head over to NoDQ.com if you want spoilers for next week's SmackDown. They're doing it because it's Christmas time and they want to give the WWE roster that Friday off, which is 2 days before Christmas. So very nice of the company. And yeah, the show was taped for next week. Raquel was interviewed backstage talking about how she's going to be in a gauntlet match for next week's SmackDown, with the winner getting a title opportunity with Ronda Rousey for the SmackDown women's title. But then Ronda and Shayna Baszler attacked her, went after the arm, and we'll have to see what happens on next week's show. We had our final segment of the evening, the Bloodline in-ring promo. Roman Reigns talked about how he dominated War Games, and he gave props to everyone, including Sami Zayn, and said it was going to be a good night for Sami Zayn, but they still have a Kevin Owens problem. That's why they're going to team up and smash Kevin Owens and his mystery partner and never see Kevin Owens again. Sami Zayn started to talk about how Owens is a cancer and he's Owens's only friend, which he quickly corrected himself. Little tease for the future, saying that he was KO's only friend. And then all of a sudden, John Cena interrupted on the big screen. John Cena had an announcement. He got a message from Kevin Owens. And on December 30th, John Cena will be Kevin Owens' mystery partner against Roman Reigns and Sami Zayn. This means John Cena's streak of wrestling every single year in WWE since 2002 will technically not be broken, because this will be December 30th, 2 days before the year ends. John Cena will wrestle in 2022. I was not expecting this. So this was a nice little swerve at the end. John Cena wrestling on SmackDown. Going to be a huge show, and tickets are moving very well for that. Check out the video if you missed it over on NoDQ.com. So that was a nice ending. I did have some issues with SmackDown. I'm going to give the show a B-. A little disappointing. I think the woman mystery attacker was pointless. Ricochet and Gunther was a good match, but very obvious how that was playing out. The Hit Row match, I mean, you had the botch and just wasn't a very memorable match. So yeah, there were some negatives. The Uncle Howdy thing, mixed feelings on it. I did like the ending with John Cena, though, so I do boost it up a little bit. Gary Joe did not like it, but we all know Gary Joe is the resident AEW super fan, but I'm a little bit more generous. B-, pretty decent SmackDown. Not an all-time classic, though, but I am looking forward to 2 weeks. Next week is what it is, a taped show, but 2 weeks, we should definitely see business picking up as we start to get into the Royal Rumble season. And that's it, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the live stream. I will have an announcement soon. I have a few announcements to make regarding this channel in 2023. Looking forward to it. We got a few little changes that will be made, but I think you guys will like it. So stay tuned for that and keep voting. NoDQ.com year-end awards over at NoDQ.com. We have numerous categories up and a few more still to be posted. Check that out. Check out the SmackDown spoilers. Have a great weekend, everybody. Take care, and remember to say yes to NoDQ.com, and I will see you all next time for more.